The rapid innovations in internet use have transformed our daily lives. Most of us now seamlessly use social media for communicating, internet browsers for information, and e-shops for online shopping. However, have you ever truly stopped to think about how all this information, your preferences, and your private life is being used? Well, that's the essence of data privacy, a fundamental digital right. But in this vast digital frontier, who truly sets the rules for our online lives? Who governs this evolving space? Today, I'll create a real time digital collage as I reflect on this topic. Join me as I literally build this analysis layer by layer to understand who truly sets the rules in our digital world. Okay, let's start mapping some of the key actors on our digital governance canvas. What are the first names that come to your mind when I say social media, internet browser, e-shop? Exactly. At the forefront of our minds are huge technology companies like Meta, Google, and Alibaba. These companies are truly innovative and have created products and services nobody could have imagined just decades ago. While many started as enterprises rooted in one country, they rapidly transformed into global multinational corporations, MNCs, with billions of daily users around the world. This rapid and expansive growth has been notably shaped by the prevailing neoliberal economic order, a core concept from our lectures. This ideology, emphasizing deregulation, free market expansion, and limited governmental oversight, has provided a fertile ground for these companies to flourish with minimal external constraints. Fueled by this neoliberal framework, tech MNCs have often actively advocated for deregulation and market expansion, arguing that innovation thrives in less regulated environments. This has at times resulted in a significant lag between technological advancement and the establishment of effective legal frameworks for protection. Furthermore, in the absence of robust global public regulations, MNCs have increasingly stepped in as providers of governance themselves. In the tech industry, they essentially establish their own standards for data collection. The documentary Terms and Conditions May Apply illustrates the direct consequences of this private governance. It exposes the digital risk we unknowingly accept by clicking I agree to the fine print of our online agreements. This includes, for instance, the lack of transparency regarding how our personal data is collected and used, and the potential for massive undeclared surveillance. These examples demonstrate how technology MNCs act as institutions of global governance themselves. As researchers highlight, these corporations exercise explicit and implicit power to maintain authority over their extensive global networks. In our case study, they do this directly through their terms of service, through intensive lobbying efforts, and by strategically framing their actions as essential business innovation that allows them to offer free platforms. However, this rise of private governance immediately raised critical questions concerning accountability, transparency, and fairness. These unresolved issues ultimately made it impossible to ignore the urgent need for a counterforce, leading directly to the rise of civil society. As we explore in our Week 5 lecture and debates, international non-governmental organizations, INGOs, are increasingly shaping global governance agendas. For instance, INGOs like the Electronic Frontier Foundation and Access Now have lobbied, researched, and mobilized to reclaim the need for transparency, explicit consent, and individual control over data. They have built coalitions, fostered global agreement on how social media platforms should be governed, and aiming for a universal standard for digital governance. One of their most significant victories and a clear example of influencing legislation and policy making is the General Data Protection Regulation in Europe, GDPR. This incorporates many principles championed by civil society. For instance, its transparency provisions require platforms to notify users about actions on their content and account, along with the motivation behind those actions, and also mandate periodic human rights impact assessments. Similar principles have also been upheld in the UNESCO guidelines for the governance of digital platforms. In both the GDPR and UNESCO guidelines, civil society organizations actively contributed to the drafting of these documents, taking part in vital consultation processes. This example shows that by articulating a clear vision for digital rights, civil society organizations hold the potential, in synergy with other stakeholders, to establish a minimum global standard for content moderation. Therefore, INGOs can exercise crucial pressure on states and companies to embed fundamental rights into the very architecture of digital platforms. In conclusion, through this collage, I reflected on the critical and evolving landscape of global governance in the digital world. This project illustrated a core learning from this unit: that global governance is a dynamic process, shaped by a diverse array of actors extending beyond intergovernmental organizations to include MNCs and INGOs. We've seen how technology MNCs, acting as a significant private governance organization, establish global standards for billions of users. In this complex scenario, one of the most effective tools to hold such powerful actors accountable is through the engagement and legal actions of civil society. This deepened understanding is highly relevant to my professional aspirations. As I plan to work at the intersection of technology and social impact, I now fully recognize the diverse set of actors I can collaborate with to shape global norms, ensuring they better serve human rights in the digital landscape. Furthermore, exploring the governance of digital rights has opened my eyes to the challenges and risks posed by rapid technological innovation, a topic I hadn't fully considered before. I am now inspired to delve deeper into this subject, particularly focusing on the ethical implications of artificial intelligence and the potential mechanisms needed to mitigate negative impacts. Thank you for watching.